connection.
Oh, I think someone was talking. Ed, did you say something?
Yeah, I was just saying that the power just went out here at my house, so we might lose this connection if it spreads out a lot, you know?
Yeah, it says your bandwidth is low.
Yeah. Well, we might as well get started and see how far we can go. Hey, Franklin, can you bring up a flag for us? Are you there?
Yeah, I can actually. I don't have enough bandwidth. My power's out, so is my internet.
Oh boy.
So let's just pretend there's a flag there. Because
Okay.
if I go to audio, it'll get really bad. So
Okay. All right.
so
Well,
if we can just go ahead and my voice might be going in and out too, because I've got barely any internet. So I'm limping along here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yep. Let's go ahead. I
I
pledge
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
Of the
States of
United States of
America
America.
and to the
And to the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
and justice for all.
for all.
Okay, welcome to the February meeting with a bunch of snow. Hopefully everyone's safe. It's a good thing we're not meeting at the clubhouse.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't.
Hey, this is a good idea. So next in the years to come, when we actually can meet, if it's snowy, we'll just turn on the Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
So next up, health and welfare. Is everyone out there okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
I haven't heard of anybody having any trouble, so.
Good news for my wife and I is that we got our second vaccine shots earlier.
That's great.
Good deal.
How's your arm holding up?
Had no problems. We were warned that the second shot would be the one that would kick our butts, but didn't happen. We both
Good.
hardly noticed it.
My daughter-in-law got a little sick with her second shot. She works at a assisted living. So they all had to get it. And she got ill but it lasted just part of a day. And then she got she got better after that. So it wasn't a real big deal.
Hey, Rick, who is the manufacturer of your guys' vaccine?
It was the Pfizer vaccine.
That's the one my wife
Pfizer
got.
BioNTech.
My mother got the two Pfizer shots, and it didn't affect her at all. And she's in her 90s. So she just said her arm was a little sore. And I also heard that if you take a Zyrtec before you get the shot, you can avoid the possibility of having an allergic reaction.
Wow,
That's something new.
that's interesting.
Yeah, you can look it up on the internet if you wanted to try to verify that, but my wife found that out.
What's Visec? Is that a over-the-counter medication?
A Zyrtec, yeah, it's a allergy type of medication. I think it's ZYRTEC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've taken that in the past. Yeah. Didn't like it.
People understand, but I think that it's hard to teach through a screen.
What? We didn't get that.
Morning, Lyles.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, then next is leads and needs.
Hey, before you get into well, Safeway has signature care. Can you see that? I don't know if I don't see it on my screen, but
Oh, yeah.
This is the
We
same
can see-
thing, but it's much cheaper.
Wow.
Allergy,
Yeah, we can see it.
and it says compare it to Zyrtec.
That's good to know.
I have a question. So I'm trying to clean my shop, and I got a pretty good start on it. But you know, I've purchased some stuff, and I've got a bunch of vacuum tubes, and most of them are like TV tubes and stuff like that. But I really don't have anything to hold them very well. So what do you guys use for holding tubes and boxes and loose tubes?
I went and got a bunch of those, the plastic, the shoebox size.
Sterilites or
Huh?
Sterilite containers?
Sterilites, yeah, that's right. And then I mark on they're easy because you can mark on the box, what they are. I put a lot of tubes that are loose tubes in those,
I've
Okay.
used Ziploc bags, and I just sort the tubes, label the bag, and keep them that way. It's really easy to get out.
Okay. And then
I
what do you
highly
do?
recommend storing them in boxes in other people's garages if they're keeping.
I like the way Blake
Good
thinks.
one.
That's pretty funny.
Mine are actually in 25-gallon tubs, and they're stackable. So I probably got 40 25-gallon bins, and then that's most of them.
But what do you do when you can't see the markings on them anymore? What do you do then?
Put them in the freezer and then blow on them and look under a high intensity light.
Okay.
Shouldn't say blow on them, breathe on them.
Breathe on them so the moisture goes on them.
You'd be amazed how much you can see when you're even a cold garage and breathing on them, holding them at an angle to light. And then Ludwell Sibley, many years ago, and I've got it in my archives someplace, wrote an article on how to identify tubes by the number of pins, what was inside, and he had a method of checking them on a checker that you start with one tip, and if that you did get a reading on that, or you got a short, it was a really neat article, but it basically was how do you identify tubes that don't have markings on them. I'll see if I can dig that up.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
So that'd be very helpful, Blake.
Do a
Okay,
check.
I'll go as soon as I'm stuck at home because we have just a lot of ice out. I'm at 1,000 feet, so we're just have a lot of ice everywhere. So, but when I can leave home, maybe next Wednesday, I'll probably go to Home Depot and buy some Sterilite containers. And
Suggest checking Fred Meyer too. They tend to be cheaper.
oh, they really?
Hey, Dave, I've got a Zine 2 box you can buy for me for $5.
Really?
It's not very big though.
That's pretty cute. I might do that just because I need another thing in the garage, right?
Better in your garage than mine.
Wow, that looks nice, Pat.
Okay. Oh, dang, there's no TV tubes, but I'm sure I can put some TV tubes in there for you.
If not, Pat, stop by here. I'll fill it up for you.
Yeah, there you go. Eventually, someday, when all the TV tubes are gone, well, I guess that'll never happen. So I'm gonna say somebody, and then all of a sudden you have a valuable item, right? If you have the last, whatever.
What I want to know is what Dick's
Pack
making
run.
for dinner, because it looks like there's going to be enough for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, this is applesauce with blueberries in it. I have
Now
some,
you're putting blueberries in it. Oh,
I saw
Blueberries.
bananas.
but you can put other kinds in there.
I thought you were cutting bananas there, Richard.
No, apples.
Apples. It's what? I don't think it's even 40 degrees in my garage now. It's probably 30, 37, 38. It's cold out there to be
It's a chilly 69 degrees this morning.
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
Got your sweater
I have
on, Mike?
socks on.
72 degrees in my garage.
Yeah, I think it's, I guess it's 22 here, so.
Mark's headline is location, 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 right?
Right.
Yeah. No radios though.
My
be right back.
headline is, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
I gotta get some coffee.
How's it like on the East Coast?
I'm gonna get coffee too.
Yeah. Hey, is anyone online? Is anyone at the McCracken sale by chance that's online in the Zoom meeting?
I got a message from Gary Marvin. He's there. He just bought all the chrome front Zeniths.
Yeah, I think look like there was one or two there in the picture.
Yeah, he got them.
What was that, Blake? You kind of cut out. You said someone already got the chrome face Zeniths?
Yeah, Gary Marvin is there. He was probably first in line, and he's got himself a big van, so I'm sure it'll be plenty of work for me in the future.
Well, there probably wasn't much of a line either. Wasn't like this.
Hmm.
I saw that photo with like wall to wall radios in that room. That was incredible. What a collection.
Yeah, I know. Plastic radios for $5. Man, I want to get down there.
Good luck.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how you
good luck
how
with
you
that.
gonna get down there?
How many people are there?
Driving is a little iffy.
That's
One.
a good question. I got into the McLaren's auction. That was easy because I just did it on my computer right here, and I ended up getting an Emerson. So that wasn't too bad. Prices were a little high though, because well, it's an auction. People kept bidding stuff up. But that was nice because you didn't have to drive anywhere. Except now I have to drive to Aurora to pick it up. But I can wait on that.
Yeah. Well, the McCracken sale wants us to come back to see when he would have another sale for us. He's willing to do another sale for us before the April estate sale. So what do you guys think? Tell her maybe a Saturday or a Sunday. Obviously not the second Saturday of the month.
Right.
Well, I would think he don't have much choice, if he wants any customers and the weather is decent, he ought to put a sale on. But
Yeah.
can't expect customers in weather like this.
Oh, how about the first Saturday of the month?
Yeah. That'd be the 6th of March.
Well, we can come back and tell her whatever. It could be Saturday, February 20th, the 27th, or maybe on a Sunday. I mean, whatever you guys want to tell her. Should I just tell her any Saturday, Sunday?
As soon as the snow's gone.
I'm sorry, what?
As soon as your snow's gone.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Well, we could do the 27th or the 6th of March, anywhere in there. I don't know.
Okay, I'll just tell her that we're ready. We're anxious to come down there, and we still got our stimulus money to spend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if there aren't any other leads you need,
I got one.
Sure.
I've got a Bendix 55L2 that needs the knobs. It's a simple request. They got to be maroon knobs, and they got to have an extended stem on them because the pot shafts don't extend past the housing. So the knobs have got to kind of go inside to fit onto these things. They're just 1/4-inch D shafts. Wonder what the opportunities are to find something like that among this group.
Grab a chair.
Rick, they have to be maroon, or can they be the tan or brown ones?
Well, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose, but the original ones were maroon. I got it at one of the auctions there, and it had no no knobs. So, or the dial glass either. I got that ordered from Radio Days. They found some for it. But the knobs,
Gary Marvin has a large collection of knobs. You could try checking with him.
okay, I'll do that. It's just that most of the knobs you see online or anyplace else, they're flush. They expect the potentiometer shaft to be sticking out, but this radio, they don't. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure there are some people on this call that also have large knobs, and you may be able to find it locally without having to drive south to Gary Place.
Yeah. Well, that's a need. I know Blake's he's got most of the knobs in the world at his place.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have the Bendix ones. I think Pat got the last of the Bendix knobs with long shafts on them. I'll check though.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other leads or needs? All right, next up, old business. We still need a NWVRS secretary. Does anyone have any time to donate to the organization to become the secretary? Well, I'm sorry, Lyle, we're still searching, but we haven't found anyone yet to be a replacement. So I'm hoping that you can still take notes today.
Pat, I'm taking minutes today.
Okay. Next up in old business, does anyone have any further discussions on the 2021 plans going into this new year? Oh, all right, does anyone have any other old business they want to bring up?
Are my minutes going to be short today?
Sounds like it. Okay, new business. Today is World Radio Day, and there was a little blurb in it in the call letter, but apparently radio has had a profound impact on our lives, and hopefully that'll continue on. But I just wanted to bring that up, that today is World Radio Day.
Today is what? Old Radio Day?
World Radio Day.
Oh, World Radio. I'm sorry. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Must be my hearing.
You can celebrate by going on 860 tonight at between 6 and midnight, or if you want to, you can wait till tomorrow. But Saturday and Sunday, 6 to midnight, 860 plays old radio shows.
I've just got a quick question. Did everybody get their call letters in the mail, or did anybody get their call letters in the mail yesterday? I did not get mine. I don't hear a lot of yeses.
I can tell you, Lyles, I can tell you it was mailed because I was the one that drove them to the post office at the airport. Sonny is the one who physically took them from my vehicle to the mailbox. So.
Well, with this weather, our mail people could be a day late or so, but I just thought I'd ask. I didn't get mine yet. But
yeah, they were deposited at the airport mailbox, post office Tuesday evening about 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, next up, Rick Bryan was looking into getting a park bench. He was one of the people that always stayed late after a meeting, and he would talk with whoever was there afterwards. And unfortunately, he passed away. But in memory of him, I would like to propose, of course, this is not my suggestion. This was Tom and Rick's idea, is to continue what Rick wanted and to be able to purchase some kind of a park bench. And this would belong to NWVRS, and we would place it wherever our clubhouse was. At this point, it would be Abernathy Grange. So we would own this, maintain it, and we would put it at the Grange in Abernathy. And this is a sample of what something like this could look like. And I don't know if you can tell, but up here is a little plaque in memory of, or whatever you want to put up there. And I was thinking that if we have a nice park bench like this, we could also make it so that we could create a plaque for whoever wants to put their name on this park bench. And perhaps this could be like a memorial park bench for those members who have passed on. And I just wanted to see what you guys thought about our organization purchasing a park bench and placing it at the Grange.
Sounds good. Have you talked to Judy about it? Are they okay with it?
Well, yes, I have, and she was going to talk to the board and get back. We had done this earlier, but then when Rick, he was waiting for some feedback from the places that make these, and he talked to the park, over there, and they never got back to him because they were supposed to come back with, where a good source for this stuff was at, and unfortunately he got sick and that got dropped. So if we approve this and want to go ahead with it, then we would need to form a committee or come up with a proposal, and then we would shoot it over to Judy. But Judy is also aware of this, and I'm pretty sure it will pass through. But I think it's better to find out if we want a park bench first and then go ask her where we could put it. But yes, she is aware of this.
I think we ought to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Great idea.
We should probably come up with a proposal to find out how much, because I don't want to spend, like $10,000 or anything like that. Maybe if we can get one reasonably priced, or maybe if someone in the club is a woodworker that might be able to make something like this for a big discount. But I think we should have a proposal in hand so that we know how much this is going to cost. How does that sound?
Sounds good, but you said woodworking. I'm thinking that we might be better off if we had it made out of metal or something that's going to be a little more durable if it's going to be outdoors.
Sure, yes, that's true. It will be outside. And yeah, it doesn't, this is just one sample I pulled up with a plaque on it. But yes, it can be a metal one or what, a cast iron, just a park bench.
Yeah.
And we're going to coordinate that with the Grange to make sure it fits in with their decor.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks.
And not that I could be there to help on that, but as far as if it's wood or metal, do you have form kind of a committee type of thing that who's going to maybe maintain it so every year it gets the once over or something like it to keep it up there too?
Have a committee during the July picnic. That would be a nice little side project for somebody. The weather's typically pretty good, and it's probably going to be somewhere on the grounds.
It's the work probably would be minimal. I wonder if the Grange would agree to. It's their property. Would they agree just to kind of make sure that it doesn't get broken and things like that? Doesn't get too dirty?
Well, I think Mark was alluding to maybe get a paint job like in the summertime, that type of thing, more of a maintenance, Lyles.
Yeah, we could do that too, probably.
Yeah, I think something that we could probably do.
It's part of your proposal, because they don't want to see you buy something and then it sits there and goes downhill. So if you have like a committee that sees that it's looked at every, painted once a year or varnished if it's wood or Rust-Oleum or whatever, just to,
Well, eventually we're going to be there every month.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. But a lot of times you get there and it's raining in there too at a meeting, so.
Yeah, they make those recycled plastic benches, I think would be the way to go, right? Because you don't really have to.
Those are cheesy. Just an opinion. Yeah, I'd rather see the wood, and I would be more than happy to be on a committee that did it say every July when we get together for the picnic, I've got a small compressor and a small sprayer. We could go out there and we could sand it lightly, clean it up, and put a top coat on it. And you wouldn't take 2 or 3 people more than an hour to do that, maybe even a half an hour if you were diligent about it, especially if you did it every year.
That's a great idea,
That would work.
especially at picnic time. So if anyone wants to also be on this committee, just let us know.
Hello, Pat.
Yo,
Yeah, I live over here in Clackamas. I'm real close to the Grange Hall there, so I can help do the maintenance on the picnic table.
oh, great, Robbie, thanks.
Yeah. Because it only takes me about 15 minutes to get over there from here where I'm at. So, yeah, I could help with the painting and the cleaning and maintaining it. Like maybe in the winter time, we could put a tarp over it, cover it up during the winter. You know, keep the snow off of it, whatever.
Great idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
All right, next up is, I'd like to create a cutoff for the caller, so that everyone has all their information in the Tuesday before, because right now I think Don is being quite generous to have the latest submissions by Thursday evening. That doesn't give him much time to get the caller assembled, put together, and given to the printing committee by Friday evening. So I'm proposing that we back up 2 days, so to let everyone know, if you've got any submissions for the call letter, you've got to get it in the Tuesday before instead of the Thursday before.
I agree. That's a good idea because I know I always wait till the last minute if I'm going to send something in. I think Tuesday it's even, getting kind of late anyway, but that's a good idea.
Well, how about if we just have the folding party on a Monday? Would that work?
It's not a matter of have the folding party. This is a matter of the time that the editor has to get the items assembled and edited and into a format that can then be printed and I think Pat's idea is the Tuesday before is probably the best, because you print on the Thursday. Is that what you've been doing?
No. Don's supposed to have it to Brian by Friday evening. So Brian has the Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, get it all printed, ready to go for the folding committee on Monday evening. See, Brian works. So if it's later than Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
whatever, then that interferes with his regular work week. He wants the entire weekend to have it ready for print.
Sounds good.
The Tuesday sounds like a good deadline date.
Yeah, that
Okay,
should give him an extra day there.
Well, what I'm looking for is a motion and a vote so that we can make it more official.
Okay, I make the motion. We move it to Tuesday.
I second that.
Is this the Tuesday before the Saturday of the meeting? Or the
No,
Tuesday-
no.
No. It's the week before that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right.
All opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Does anyone have any other new business? Okay, then we'll give it to the vice president if he's still there for the monthly feature.
Can I have a monthly feature that's not related to the topic?
You
Sure.
betcha.
Go for it.
Okay. What I brought this morning, and you tell me if you can see it, okay? I brought an Atwater Kent Model 19
Yeah.
which is a Model 20 with only 4 tubes in it. You can see that it's got a shorter case. I've got it working. Can you hear it playing?
Terapias. Uno de ellos dijo que se quería quitar la vida, que su papá no estaba con él.
Anyway, it takes 4 01A tubes, or if you have a 12 for your power output tube, you can put a 12 in it. And it's I've had it for a while, and I've had it working before, and I got it working for over the last couple of days, and it works well. These are not real common. If any of you guys are Atwater Kent experts, you can provide some more information. But that's what it looks like. So that's what's been keeping me out of trouble on these snowy days.
Great. Nice, Lyles. Well, in keeping with the letter M for this month, I've got a radio. It's not the manufacturer's not an M, it's a General Electric, but it is a Musiphonic. And this is it here. I don't know. Yeah, I'll move it back a little bit so you can see it. It's kind of cool. It has the pilot lamp is attached to the dial, and it's got a slide rule dial, of course, you can see. And it was made in 1962. It has 8 tubes with a selenium rectifier. And this radio is rather amazing in that I got it and I have not done a single thing to it at all. I haven't touched it, and including replacing any tubes or anything. And it just plays great. And I figured, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So I'm just leaving it alone. There you can kind of see the dial a little bit, and the knobs, 2 of them have the gold inserts are missing, but I'm not too worried about that. And you can see now, if I move I don't know if you can see this too well on your, but if I move the tuner, then the pilot lamp goes right with it. So that's kind of cool. And it's AM, FM, high fidelity. It's got 2 speakers in it. And it just plays great. It just has really great sound. And I figured, I'm thinking that it probably has a lot of ceramic discs in it, being of its age and that type of thing. So, and then it has circuit boards. Everything's on circuit boards, including the tube sockets and all of that business. So it's just a really nice set, plays great. And I have it here in my computer room, my office here, and that's what I listen to.
Mike, what's the name of it again?
It is it is a General Electric Musiphonic, and it's a model T150B. And,
what year?
Like I say, 8 tubes, AM, FM with AFC. And it's also got a phono selection with a RCA jack in the back to plug a phonograph into. And it's just a really nice sounding, super good stereo. No, it's not stereo. Take it back. It just got 2 speakers, but it is not stereo. But it's a really nice sounding radio. And like I say, it's rather amazing because I haven't done a thing to it.
The model is the Musiphonic, right?
Musiphonic, yeah. It says right here, Musiphonic right here on the front. There's a label right there.
MUSI?
Yeah. MUSIC. No, I'm sorry. MUSAPHONIC. Musiphonic.
Got it.
What year is that, Pat? Or what year is that, Mike?
1962.
What's a model what?
Model T150B.
What's the first character? P or B? Phone or Baker?
Model T as in Tom dash 150B.
Got it. Okay.
So
Is that one of those, what was the stereo AM called?
Multiplex?
No.
oh, you mean multiplex? You know, I don't know if this has got a, it could. It definitely could. I've got some Zeniths that has, well, no, I take that back. My receiver is a multiplex, and I think that's just for stereo, Dave.
Okay.
This is not stereo. This is just mono, but it does have 2 speakers in it.
Does it use the miniature tubes? Are they all the
Yeah.
miniature 7 and 9 pin?
Right, yeah, they're all miniature 7 and 9 pins, the whole thing. It's got 8 tubes plus a selenium rectifier.
With 8 tubes, that's a nice set.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's high fidelity, high-end fidelity. It's got a tone control. The on-off switch, you just pull the knob out and for on and push it in for off. Phono, AM, FM, AM, AFC, and dial tuning. And so really a nice set. I think if there's anything I did to it at all, as long as it's still playing good, I would just change out the selenium for a diode and a resistor.
That makes sense.
And get rid of that. But yeah. And that's it.
So Mike, when you change the selenium out for silicon diode and a
yeah
resistor, what size of resistor would you?
Well, it all depends because it depends on the circuit, Dave. What you try to do, and what I've had to do is just mainly trial and error sometimes. I did one here the other day and I got lucky. I hit it right on the nose. I mean, you can make a science out of it. You know, don't get me wrong. If you start to know what your AC current and all of, or current going to B plus and all of that is coming out, what you try to do, the goal is to put the diode in there. And I usually use like a 1N007. And then what you want to do is duplicate what the schematic calls for B plus. And
you just made your B plus voltage then. And
yeah, that's right. Because the diode typically will let more current through than the selenium rectifier. So then you have to compensate that by adding or upping the value of a resistor. A lot of times in the circuit, there will be a resistor in line, typically after the diode. So you're on DC. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll pull that out. I think I had one the other day. What was it? I think it was like, it was low, like 27 ohm, something like that. And I put a 50 something ohm resistor in its place. Sometimes you want to go pretty heavy wattage on those because they can get hot. But
so like a 2 watt resistor.
Lucky, and on that particular radio, it was a Zenith AM FM I was working on. It came out just right, and then you just check your B plus voltage and see what it is. And a lot of times they want like 90 volts or whatever, and sometimes right off the diode it'll be like a little over 120 volts, and then by the time it gets to the tubes, like the plate voltage on the output tube is a good place to check it, and that type of thing. So you want the thing running your B plus just about the right voltage, that type of thing. And usually you have to compensate with a resistor when you change those when you put the diodes in there. But they're a lot better. I guess the seleniums can fail and release that selenium gas and do all kinds of bad stuff. So I was told that it's a good idea to always change those with a modern diode.
Okay, well, thank you.
I agree, Mike. And I've heard the same thing you just mentioned, that the seleniums over time we do have gas, and it's not good for you.
Right.
It stinks
And
too.
just a plain old silicon diode would be a lot more efficient too.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one.
Oh, good.
I've got this beast here. It's a Majestic Model.
Oh,
15.
nice.
I don't know exactly what year it's from, about 1930, 29, 30. And I've had this thing forever. and it doesn't play because I don't have a speaker for it. It needs a particular type of speaker. Well, it needs an electrodynamic speaker to start with because it's got a field coil. But there's a particular, it was a type 10 or something like that. I haven't dealt with it in so long. I've forgotten all the details of what I used to need. But it's just a neat looking sort of a tombstone type radio.
Yeah.
And it's
that's sweet.
It's got 5-6 tubes in it. They're all old ones. But
is that
I've had this thing for 15 years if I've had it a day.
Is that a TRF or is that a super het, Rick?
It's a super het, and this particular one has been worked over at some time or another. It's got Meissner coils in it, so that means that the IF coils were replaced at some point. But it's
that's interesting. I wonder why. Who knows?
Who knows? They might have burned out, but at any rate, that's it. It's a
that's
Majestic
nice.
Model 15.
That's
a model 15.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it says right on the back. Let me see if I can get this up. The inside is ugly.
Well, the reason I'm asking, is I'm taking notes.
That, now you can kind of see it.
Majestic. Those are
Majestic
sweet.
Model
That's
15.
a nice radio, Rick.
Majestic.
Oh yeah, Model 15A it says.
And someday, maybe I'll find that speaker.
Yeah.
I quit trolling eBay a long time ago, though.
Hey, Rick.
Yes, sir.
Interesting note. I've got a 15 somewhere under my workbench that both the IFs are gone in it. And when I went out to the forums to look around, because I think it's 175 kilohertz IF, that's pretty common that those are gone. And one of those has both the oscillator coil and an IF coil all in one can.
Huh.
Oh.
Like I say, I haven't dealt with this radio in years. So I've long since forgotten.
Well, if I give up on this one, I'll contact you because I have the speaker.
I would love to get hold of the speaker for this thing.
You get first shot at it.
All
Thanks
right.
for sharing.
You know, on that note, this new guy has taken over Playthings of the Past, and because I've gotten speakers, you know, for different radio. I know I bought one for a Philco 71, I think it was, a long time ago when they were still in operation. And he says when you get on his site, he's not operating yet, but he says he's claiming to start back up sometime late this winter. I don't know.
I saw that.
But that's always a good source for that kind of stuff, or used to be, actually. Hopefully it will in the future.
That's all I've got.
That'd be Barry Bennett off the Antique Radio Forums. I think his name is.
I think that's right, Dave. I think Bennett, yeah. I think was a guy's name that's going to start it back up.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a cute one.
Well, I've got one here. It's not a tube set. It's a transistorized Mickey Mouse set.
Nice.
You see that?
Yeah, hold it up higher, Robbie.
Something from.
We're losing you. Hold it up higher. We can't see it. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
There's Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the only M radio I've got, and I've got the inside picture of it here. You see that?
Oh, wow.
It's got all the parts in it. I haven't even used it yet. I found it in an auction. Got it pretty cheap.
That's sweet.
Okay, that's my radio for today.
Well, let me see if I can sneak in here with my metal Mighty Might.
Ooh, that's nice.
Cute.
This radio was one of Arvin's first metal radios. They made it in the late 30s, say 1938, just as they were getting into about 20 years of metal cabinet sets. It's a version of their Model 40. So it uses a two tube series string circuit, 35Z5 and a 70L7, I believe. But anyway, it's the Model 40, the two tube Arvins are pretty hard to find, and finding the one that's actually branded Mighty Might is a real challenge. But I've been chasing these things so long that I actually have a couple. This is the ivory version, and they also made it in what they call walnut paint, which is a nice dark brown with black freckles in it. So anyway, one of my favorite sets.
Nice, Dan.
Hey,
That
that's
is a
great.
cutie.
Okay, if there's nothing else for monthly feature, then we could go over to Lyle's for minutes from January.
The minutes for January were printed in the call letter. Did anybody get their call letter and have any questions or need any more information about the minutes? If not, I didn't get my call letter, although I know what the minutes said, but I don't have any questions. If anybody has any questions, bring them up.
No, I just moved that we approve the minutes.
I'll second. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Lyles. Okay, next up we'll go to Ed, the treasury report.
I think Ed left the room.
Hopefully he didn't leave the building.
I don't think so.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah.
Ed has left the building.
No, he just left the room, I'm thinking, but
Only kidding.
Here he comes.
oh, good.
The power went out over here in Vancouver about 45 minutes ago. It just came back about 15 minutes ago. He may have had to restart. There he is now.
We took a hit on the east side of Vancouver, but we didn't lose power, so unlucky.
They say our power will be out till 11 tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Ed, do you have any updates from the treasurer?
Well, last month, Mark Lacey and Dave Eaton came over and did the audit, and everything looked fine, except you know about it, Pat. There was this $100 donation we gave to that USS Oregon organization, and we didn't get a like a bill from them. We just sent them a check, and so Dave and Mark just noted that in this summary of the audit, that there was just that one item that I didn't have any paperwork for, but between, and Dan didn't have anything in the archives for it either. So in the future, we just need to make sure we get some kind of a acknowledgement from these organizations, stuff like that. The Jim Mason Fund keeps on growing. It's up to $48,250. And the combination of our savings and checking is at about $8,400. Everything's fine. Any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if you had a chance to look into getting some kind of an online payment system. So that
Well, this
people
July, maybe we'll throw a big party with all that money.
We could, yes. No, the answer is no, I have not set up a PayPal account yet, and I don't really feel any urgent need to do that since we're not getting much revenue coming in with dues this year. But the only thing I do is write checks, and there is the occasional dues that do show up. You've seen them, Pat. People have been paying their dues unnecessarily. So, but a very little activity of money coming in right now.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to hit the millennials and X Geners because we've had some of those and they've left, and we've contacted them and they said, oh yeah, I'll join up and stuff. But I think if we can get an electronic payment system set up, we'll just send them an email, they'll just get that, click on it, and boom, they're paid up. I think that would appeal to a lot of the younger people to be able to pay their dues electronically. And I think if we can get that in there, I want to hit them and have them rejoin up again.
Will you accept Bitcoin?
You'll make one small enough.
Who are you trying to reach out to specifically, Pat?
Debbie Reisner, she'd be one, and then we have oh gosh, I just contacted the guy. He is a member of OTAC, so the Oregon Phonograph Society, and he's a younger person, and he was going to sign up and send a check in, but if I can just send him an email and it has a link to PayPal or whatever electronic venue we have, I'm sure that they'll pay up. It's just trying to get these people to pay their dues. I think if we can make it easier for them electronically, they'll go ahead and do it. I think a lot of the younger people, writing a letter and putting it in an envelope, stuff like that. I mean, to them, I think that's too old fashioned, and I'm sure they can do it, but everything for things online, one click, this kind of that stuff. And I believe if we have that payment feature in, we can get a lot of people to pay. And if nothing else, pay before like June of the current year to pay their dues, because we've always run into a problem of people trying to pay on time. But if we make it easier for them and quicker, I think we should lessen that problem.
Yeah. What about PayPal?
Sure, if we can have a PayPal link to our account, that would work out great, but there are other online venues as well. But yeah, PayPal is certainly an option.
Hey, Pat.
Yo.
I can speak for the club out in Dallas that I sit on the board for. We started taking PayPal about 5 years ago, and it got to the point where nearly 20% of our dues were paid through PayPal because of convenience. I can tell you that's jumped over 50% this year for obvious reasons. But I will tell Ed up in front, it's a little bit of a pain to get it set up, but certainly not. You only have to do it once.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You and I've talked about that, Blake, and I don't have any fear of setting it up. I just didn't think that there was the volume of activity was necessary right now.
Yeah, ours wasn't in the beginning. The first year we only had 2 or 3 people. By the second year it picked up, but by 5 years we had a full, I think 19%. The membership's a little bit larger and it's a little bit more diverse geographically than this organization, but it certainly worked for us.
Well, I'll take another shot at setting it up. Well, I didn't really take one yet, but it doesn't sound too complicated to me. I just wonder about my ability to track the transactions and all that. I'll figure that out later on.
They actually send you a monthly receipt for all your transactions, and then you can pull them annually if you'd like. That's what we do. We visit them monthly to see what the activity is, and then we pull them annually for our audits.
Just
Okay,
a,
thanks a lot.
just a thought on what I did for my PayPal. I have an account and a separate savings, and loan, and I kept the PayPal only to that, not to my main account, because I always had the thought if somebody figured out how to hack into something in my main institution, there was no limit on what, I mean, you can't control what they take out, I guess you might say. If you had, you couldn't compartmentalize it like a PayPal account, because they would go to overdraft and take it out of your main account. So I just went ahead to a different institution for PayPal, and that way there's no worries. It's only what's at risk is what's there. And that just the thought,
I did the same. That's a good one. I did the same thing, Mark, but my bank, which was on point, because you're right. If you start to overdraft, they want to take it out of another. I put a lock on the savings account that I have tied to PayPal, so they can't do that.
Okay. See, mine didn't offer that at the time. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's been years ago now.
Okay, great. Next up, Robbie, do you have any updates on the radio sale? Is Robbie there?
Did we lose Robbie?
Okay, if Robbie's not there, I've been asked. I've been asked, like, when we're gonna have the next meeting, this kind of stuff. And what do you guys think of when it is possible that we have like a radio sale with club members only at the Grange, but not on a meeting weekend? We will pick another date, another Saturday or Sunday. What do you guys think of that? And it's something where we're not going to invite the public. If the public shows up, we can't turn them away. But what I'm saying is it's mainly for just club members. We'll just have a small sale.
So then this would just be people coming and buying and selling, but there wouldn't be any gain for the club itself. Is that correct, Pat?
Right. We already have the clubhouse. We've already paid for it. We could do it, whenever we feel like, whenever the governors are gonna kind of lessen the COVID restrictions. But for example, we could invite back, what was the name of that one, Mike, that you were working with, the estate? We only got one sale from her. We could invite her back. And the thing is that with the new rules, we won't charge her for the table. It'll all be free.
Yeah, her name was Nicole. I forget their last name, but.
Oh, yeah. But see, we could invite them back in. And of course, we will have, probably a dozen or 15 tables available. And whoever wants to can throw up, first come, first serve. And then if it gets to be too many people, we can double up. Like, for example, Esteban and I would share a table and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But what do you guys think of that? It's really to test the waters, because we want to see how we can control a sale at the Grange without having the whole world, come down on us. We're just kind of see if we can control it with members only.
Well, but I know, and I don't know if Chris is still on here or not. I know you have to be a little careful with that. When you start to close and make it any of those types of things that are for members only, then you can get into some of the problems of the rules of the 501c3 or nonprofits. I know Chris Butler told me at the time, because we checked into it, that you're always better off if you invite, make it open to the public for that reason, so you might check into that before you start making any kind of a closed sale. You could just leave it open.
Make it open and don't
and then not advertise. Yeah, you just leave it open to everybody, and then because mostly it's just going to be our members that are going to show up anyway. So.
Right. Well, no, it's always that way. public is always welcome. If somebody shows up at the door and they heard about it through their good friend, then yes, we have to let them in. But
Yeah,
no, it's not.
yeah.
It's never
Just do it,
closed.
do it that way. Don't officially close it to members only is what I'm saying. And
Right.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, no, it's always open to the public. What I meant, not saying close to the public, but just, we send out the invitations to members and let them come and buy and sell radios.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
But
I wondered, have you guys discussed having an auction on Zoom like this? I mean, if you had PayPal installed, you could pay for them that way too.
Continue offense, and the proof of that is.
Excuse me, guys. The power is out in my house and the battery on my cell phone is about to die, so I'm gonna have to leave.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I've done some searching, some researching for having online auctions, and they come in two flavors. One is where you sign up and you can have as many auctions as you want. They'll provide all the, the payment and all this kind of stuff, but the fee is about $1,000 per year to host that. The other way is you can do it by event. So in other words, if you're only going to have 1 or 2 events per year, you don't, why pay $1,000 for that many auctions? But the trouble with that one is then they dock you 20-30%, and it's costly. So yes, we could have online auctions. People have the software available, but it usually is in 2 flavors. Either you buy a subscription and you can have as many auctions as you want for the year, because the subscription is only for a year at a time, or you go by individual event, but the individual event is still the same. They're going to dock you 20-30% at least to set it all up. Plus they get a commission on all the financial transactions that go through. So
Who is it? Who gets that? Who you're talking about?
the companies that have the online auction information. So Rick, are you thinking about, we have our own, we just have a Zoom meeting?
I'm just thinking that, if I have a radio in hand here to say, okay, what am I bid for this radio among the people on the screen here? You could bid it that way, and then if you had PayPal installed, then that's how you'd pay for the radio.
Okay.
The club, if the club has these donations from estate sales, I know we've got a bunch of radios somewhere waiting to be auctioned off, the kind we used to have in the Abernathy Grange. Couldn't we just do this online on Zoom? I mean, it might be kind of crowded with the number of screens, but
It would be kind of fun to try. I think we've got an auctioneer. Mike's right there, and he's got the first 3 radios lined up. But let's give it a shot.
I'll start with $5.
It'd be fun to try, but it would have to be something that we had low value radios or something, because I'd hate to have something that
$1, $1.
Yeah.
the trick is being able to pay for them, remotely. And so it's another reason to have a PayPal account if the proceeds go to the club, because then you can just pay them that way. I mean, I bought some capacitors this morning on PayPal from Sal Brindisi or whatever his name is, and it was pretty seamless.
That's a great idea, but I think what would happen is, since we have the radios and somebody's going to auction them and bid on get them, they wouldn't have to have PayPal, because they could come by and when they pick up the radio, they could just drop the check off at that time. So that might be another option, because there could be people out there that don't want or don't have PayPal, and then they'll feel like they can't bid. So when they pick up the radio, they could pay. How does that sound?
Sure.
That would work for me.
That with a PayPal, all you need is a credit card. I mean, you don't really need to have PayPal. You can just pay any PayPal bill with a credit card, just to let you know.
Mm-hmm. Mike, do you have some auction items in? Did you pick some stuff up from that one person?
What are you talking about? You talking about McLaren's?
No. There was a memo that went out. Somebody wanted to donate like 3 radios or something like that. And
Oh, that one. Yeah. I've got those. And I thought we were gonna save, that you wanted me to pick those up from the guy in Beaver. Yeah, I have them here in my garage. And then we were gonna put them in an auction or something like that.
Would you be willing to do that via Zoom? Because if you
Yeah.
have the radios, you'd be the auctioneer, but you'd also have to, you know,
Right.
do it your place.
I gotta take off for a second. I'll be right back.
Guys, I'm gonna have to take off. It's good seeing everybody.
Have a good day, Rick.
I'll try to remember Wednesday to join in with WRNZ.
Take care, Rick.
Bye.
Okay. Bye for now.
So that's a great idea, you guys, Rick and Blake and Mike. You guys want to maybe just have a short auction for those 3 items we have via Zoom?
Do we want to do it separate than our Wednesday night radio Zoom, or do you want to just add it to the end of that?
Whatever you guys want to do. If we did it Wednesday night, I'm sure it would increase the participation on a Wednesday night.
Good idea.
Okay, let's do that. We'll set it up with Mike.
Okay, for this coming Wednesday?
Yeah. And we'll just invite anyone, but not really advertise it.
Yes.
So Pat, if you want to have a sale, I know that I've been to estate sales recently, and of course they require masks, and there's somebody outside the door only allowing so many people in at a time. So, you know, if you did have the sale at the Grange, that's probably what we'd have to do to maybe protect ourselves a little bit, in case somebody did get wind that there was a sale and they weren't club members.
Is it limited 25 still?
I don't know what the number is. It depends.
Jerry Hertel was keeping me abreast of that. Is Jerry online right now? Okay, if he's not, we can find out. I'll contact him because he has the website. He was tracking that for us when we were thinking of having an auction. He was able to tell us, you know, what the restrictions were. I think currently it is 25 people or less.
That's if you get caught. What's chances of getting caught doing half of this stuff? You know, if you don't advertise it, nobody knows except members.
And somebody could tell on us.
Yeah, Dick, that's probably true. I don't think any one of us would tell on anything. And I kind of doubt we would have issues. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, how many people in our club would come to this all at once?
Okay, I'm back.
You don't look quite so full in the face.
So Mike, we were talking about doing your three radios auctioned on Wednesday night at the end of the Wednesday night radio with Zoom. Does that sound good to you?
What 3 radios?
The 3 that were donated?
Oh, yeah. No, that'd be fine. I will tell you a little, give you a little bit about them. Of course, you never know what you're going to get when you have donations. And I will say pretty much, they're all battery sets, okay, from the 20s. One is a 1 or 2 tube, looks like. That may be fairly desirable. The other ones, the tubes for the most part have been taken out. There's one of them has 1 tube in it. And I would venture to guess, if I was going to guess, I would say it's maybe bad. It's an O1A. So they're bordering on being just part sets, okay? to be honest. And I don't know what you could get out of them, if any interstage transformers are good or not, or what, you know. Some of the wood is not all that great. So they're not all that great, you know, and that's sometimes what you end up with when you get donations. But yeah, I would be willing to go ahead and get those cleaned up a little bit and put them in front of the camera on Wednesday night. That's fine. We could give it a run, trial run. Now they belong to the club. They were donated to the club. So any payment form would go to the club. I don't know. We're not going to have PayPal set up, so people could, of course, write a check or whatever to the club. We'd have to figure something out like that, or they could come and pick them up from me, like Pat was talking about, and then, you know, pay me cash or check when they come to pick them up. That might work the best. So yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, good. Well, if there isn't anything else, then Mike, do you want to go ahead and talk about the tube of the month?
Sure. If any of you got the call letter, there was an article in there I wrote about the Mullard Tube Company. Just to briefly go over that real quick, and was started by a gentleman in England, Captain Stanley R. Mullard, and he was a research engineer and founded the company in 1920. By 1924, that was when radio had really started to take off, and he had to expand the company. So to be able to make tubes for consumer radios over there in Great Britain. So the Philips company, Philips Glow-Lampen Fabriken of Holland, they bought half the company's shares in 1924 so they could fund making all these factories. And then by 1927, Philips company took Mullard completely over. And they owned Mullard all the way from 1927 to 1988. And then at that point, they had sold out. Now, I don't know exactly who owned Mullard or used the Mullard brand name after 1988 exactly. But I do know between then and now, recently a company called New Stencer has taken them over. But they still make tubes, and most of them, a lot of them are made in Russia today, but they still make some that are made in Great Britain. And they specialize mostly in hi-fi stuff, you know, like KT88s, 12AX7s, EL84s, 6L6, all that kind of stuff. You know, they may make other tubes as well, but I think that they're kind of known for that. I have a Mullard 12AX7 here. And I'll show it to you. I didn't have a Mullard box for it, but I did have the Mullard tube, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I'll hold it up to the camera here.
Really, oh
yeah.
And there it is with their label on it. And this is a 12AX7. Anyhow, and so that's along with the M is the tube of the month decided to go with this month was Mullard tubes. So there it is. Your dual triode.
Now, Mike, did you say they were still in business?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
they are. I mean, the Mullard name is still being used, but they're owned by a company called New Stencer.
Okay.
STENSOR, which is an American company. You know,
yeah,
they're here in the United States is where they're from, but their manufacturing is done a lot of it in Russia, believe it or not. And now this tube here, it says made in Great Britain on it, and so I'm not sure. And it is a 12AX7, so I'm not sure if this is one of an older tube that was made before during the time that Phillips owned it. I don't know if you can see that or not. You might, but it says right there. I don't know if you can see that. It
Yeah.
says made in Great Britain right on it.
Oh, okay.
So this might be, but the thing of it is too, with the audio files, is the older tubes, the new old stock tubes made by Philips before 1988 are the ones that are all sought after, you know,
Yeah.
whatever reason. I don't know. It just, you know, one of those audio file deals. So whether they're actually better than the ones being made nowadays or not, I couldn't tell you, but apparently some people think that they are.
So Mike, with those tubes, are they basically built the same way that, I mean, do they use the same, you know, sheet metal, you know, jigs and stuff like that to bend them, or do they change their process, you know, like use laser?
You know, Dave, that's a really good question. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say, and maybe that might be some of it too. Maybe like you bring up, maybe the manufacturing of the way they're made today, maybe they're not as durable or whatever as the way they used to make them. Possibly, I don't know. That could be one reason why the older new old stock tubes are the ones that are sought after, and they demand a high price,
right,
you know, compared to the new ones. And that might be a good point. You know, I know like some of the newer tubes, like some of the JJs, that kind of thing, that are made in Russia. They're maybe not as high a quality as some of the other tubes or some of the older ones. I mean, I don't know, but that could very well be is the way they're being manufactured. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know, you know, like I know, like just as a complete aside, is that I know a guy, and have you ever seen those little Jensen steam engines? You know, those little toy. Anyways, they're made in Pennsylvania, and I know the family. I know a guy who's a part of that family that owns that, and he says they're using the original jigs that the grandfather made in the 1930s, and so they're still relatively original. And there's a few things like the solders and stuff like that they can't get anymore, but it's pretty interesting, you know, that they're, and I just kind of wonder if the tube industry's kind of done that too, where they just keep reusing the same old stuff. And you know, I think that you could do a lot better today with what you have available with all the pick and place machines and stuff like that, as opposed to having somebody with tweezers putting stuff together.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have the new CNC stuff that, you know, that type of thing, but then it is, I think that when you get into manufacturing, I think that the wherewithal to be able to make anything is there. But when you're into a factory, they're always looking at cutting costs on manufacturing too. So therefore, you know, it might be maybe they can make them cheaper using different materials, and therefore then possibly then the quality can suffer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Thanks.
So anyhow. But that's what I have on the Muller tube. Any other questions on it, or?
For next month, are we going to have tubes to start with an N or an O? I'm not too sure who that would be.
You're going to throw O in there too, Lyles? I thought next month was N, but that's
no, N is fine. N is fine.
Maybe Nixie tubes or something like that, or I don't know. I have to start doing it's a little challenge sometimes to start finding tubes that correlate with the letter for that month. So
what radios begin with an N?
Well, for the
radios that begin with an N, what are those?
For the tubes, you have National Union. That's not a problem.
There you go. You're right. That's right, Dan. I knew there'd be one that'd be easy.
Well, the radios, there's Narragansett, National Union, Naylor, Neutral Lounge, and New Yorker.
Normandy.
Some of
Yeah,
those are pretty new to me.
I guess I have to wait for T to get to these, right? These are
Yeah.
telephones.
Hold on just a minute.
You got Norelco.
That would be a razor.
No, they might have made, well, it'll be interesting to see what people bring. Do we want to go with N next month?
Yeah.
That sounds fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
You could say
locally
no. That starts with N.
we have Norco. That was made here in Portland.
Oh, that's a good one. I've got one of those.
How about the school radios, the Newcombs?
And the phonographs.
Sorry. Son and daughter-in-law just showed up over here, so I had to let them in the house.
Well, if that's it, we'll go ahead and see if there's anything else. And if not, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. But I do have a question to pose people, and I'm sure other people have got comments as well.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah,
can I show Phil Rossi something?
yeah.
They're here.
Oh, fantastic.
I have to wait for T because this one is this one's a Telefunken.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But these
Thank you
go
so
on a
much.
German radio, but look at the pinouts on them.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And I appreciate your phone call last night, Blake, as well.
No worries. I thought you might enjoy seeing a glimpse of what we're
Yeah,
doing.
there's
Thank
hope
you,
on the
Pat, for
horizon.
letting me do that.
There's hope on the horizon.
Yep.
What was your question, Pat?
Okay, I've got an old tube TV that I bought from George, and it works. But what I'm looking for is some kind of a negative temperature control thermistor. Basically, I want to know if someone has one for sale or plans to build something. So basically, I could plug the TV and turn it on, but I don't want to shock it with a full, 120 volts right away. I can bring it up under a variac very slowly, but what I'm looking for is something I can plug into the wall. And so when I turn the TV on, the power comes up gradually so that it'll last longer. And the only research I've been able to find out is they have something called an NTC thermistor. Does anyone have plans to build something like that that would power a tube TV?
I think Sonny's got some of them.
Oh, he does? Because I got this information from Sonny, but he kind of led me to the thing where I had to design and build my own.
I mean, you can get the thermistors and stuff off of places like DigiKey and different sources like that. They're readily available. And I don't think they're too expensive.
But I from the research I've done, it sounds like you have to build it according to how much amperage it's going to use versus how much fading resistance over time. I hope that makes sense. In other words, it has to be able to power up to 120 volts using, I'm not sure exactly how many amps the TV uses, but it has to gradually build that up over, let's say, I don't know, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. So there is some equations I'm sure I'm gonna have to figure out to buy the right component.
It seems to me that those things work when they're cold. They have a higher resistance, and so when you apply power to them, they'll start to heat up and then change the resistance. So it's just really to stop or protect you from the inrush. I remember when I worked at the state, we had these big UPSs, and they had some of those in there just to take the inrush spike when it first powered on was the idea, which is kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. I think those are readily available through DigiKey and other resellers. I know I've got some here, but I have no idea where they are or what what characteristics they have. But I would put a call into Sonny or maybe to Dick Howard. They may be good resources of information on that.
Okay, appreciate it. Because what I'm hoping for is something is like maybe even plug and play. I just plug my TV into this and turn it on and have it, already set up.
Yeah. as I recall, I think they were right in series with the connection. So when you power the thing on, it's gonna be a higher resistance until it heats up. And like I say, it's gonna depend on the current going through it. But I imagine it's pretty easy to figure that out as far as
I think you're right,
how many
Mark.
watts.
I think they were right in line with the AC, weren't they? And if that be the case, you'd probably be able to put them in a box that was inline external to the television.
What kind of item is this, Pat? I didn't hear everything at first. Is it a TV or a radio?
Yes, it's a tube TV, and I want to increase the longevity of it because I don't know how to repair a TV right now. So I want to make sure that I can make it last as long as possible. So yes, it is a Admiral Bakelite tube TV.
This might be a little bit of overkill, but if you've got a Variac, you could put your TV on a Variac and do that.
Yes, but that means every time I want to play it, I have to plug it into the Variac and then bring
Well,
it forward.
that's why I say that's overkill.
Is that to save the transformer, Pat?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that to save the transformer from having a big the inrush to the primary and all that to save it from going south? Is that your goal?
There are surge resistors that you can get.
It's
All the above D.
Yeah, it's to protect the whole unit. From what I understand, you have to protect the capacitors and
okay,
it's just rush
that
of
makes
power.
sense.
Okay, great. I'll give Dick and Sonny an email.
Okay.
Does anyone have anything else they want to talk about?
I want to comment about Dan's work on the Vanport flood thing. I just skimmed over that last night a little bit, and I was just going, wow, there's so much work you put into it. I'm really impressive.
Yeah, I did too. That's really a nice story.
And
a lot of history.
It reminded me of some things I'd forgotten or didn't tie them together. So it was, my personal, my great uncle and stuff, and some of the other hams I'd known years ago and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that.
Rich Bender told me to make sure I got a look at it. He was very impressed as well. So even people in St. George, Utah are looking at it.
Wow.
We scared him off.
Or his power went out.
Yeah, I know my dad was working at the Astoria airport at the time, and he actually flew over where the flood was at that time. And I don't know if he was doing that as an official thing or if he just happened to want to fly over there on his own. I'm not sure what the circumstances were, but he told me that he had flown over that when they had the Vanport flood. A small airplane. Well, did Pat leave or did we adjourn or?
No, I think we're still going. Did
Okay.
you guys catch the picture of Joe Nomura in an earlier
No,
year?
and I said go ahead. Yeah, and so if they're go ahead and adjourn, but I know other times after we've adjourned the meeting, people stay on and kibitz.
Okay, I've got to leave. I got the relatives are just showing up. I got company out here, so I'm going to take off anyway. So
good day, everybody.
You guys take care and good seeing everybody.
See you later, Mike.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.
Yeah,
I'm going to bail out too. I'm going to get some breakfast. So.
Hey, well, enjoy your nice warm weather over there.
Yeah. Well, it's cold over here. It's in the 70s and the 60s in the morning, so.
Man, I'm gonna take you off my Christmas card list. That's just me. Take care, Mark.
They got snow in Mauna Kea up there, you know. In fact, they had some lady went up there and ran into a rock, and I think she injured her neck real bad or something like that. So I don't know. It's, you know, only in Hawaii, huh?
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay, then have a good day. Bye for now.
I think I'm gonna go too. Have a good day, guys.
See you
Okay.
later. Bye, Nancy.
Yeah. See you later, Pat.
Yeah, we'll see. I gotta leave too.
Yep. Cheers, guys.